But isn't it true that getting access to that money can be difficult? What I'm talking about is going to investors, like let's say church people or church pastors and ministers who have investment money.
Well, let me say this. There seems to be an impression in the community that because you operate a number of affordable housing buildings, you have a big pot of money somewhere. And that really is not the case, because the income that you get from low-income housing, if you're lucky, covers the cost of building operation and staffing for those buildings. And that's if you're lucky. Quite often, you're relying on operating reserves and capital reserves to help address problems in those buildings as they come up. So if you have a well-run, tightly run building, you're probably covering your costs. And if you have any issues in your property or any unexpected challenges, then you've got to go to reserves. But I'd like to just address the issue that you were talking about. If you're an entrepreneur starting with a new business, although we all want to, the lure of owning real estate is one big headache, and trying to start and grow a business is yet another one. And you're probably better off, unless you know where a very affordable piece of property is, to start, focus, and grow your business. Because the reserves that you have will be needed to put back into your business and continue to operate your business to overcome cash flow issues that most small businesses have. But when you're layering that with a mortgage and all of the other responsibilities of ownership, unless it's very affordable, it really doesn't make sense when you're starting out. It's only once you're well established and you're earning some sufficient income that you should then take that next step and invest in also owning the property. But I know that almost every small business owner has a dream. I'm knitting hats. I'd like to buy the store to sell my hats. And it just really doesn't make sense if your focus is knitting the hats.
We had decided, we ran a small loan program to provide exactly that kind of access to capital. We found we didn't have the facility or the capacity to run a loan program. And so we partnered with Accion. They're internationally renowned for their initial capital for business enterprise, and others will work with any group or with the bank to try to advocate for our entrepreneurs to find capital to expand their business, as small as it is or as large as it is.
When you're doing commercial development as part of your projects, do you think about, and clearly the commercial development is meant to be revenue producing, and we all understand that because it's part of your sustainability. Do you think about trying to put a local business sort of spin on that?
Absolutely.
So that's a way of perhaps addressing this,
Absolutely.
right?
Always. One of the key important factors is that our small businesses in our communities thrive and that the business owners build wealth, and they also provide jobs. I think 99% of jobs in anywhere in New York are provided by small business. So we want to see those prosper and grow. And I think a direct answer to your question, a lot of community development corporations have the technical assistance that you would need in order to envision what you need to do to establish your business, consider all these opportunities. I'm sure obviously BEDC is probably a primary place. Have funds perhaps in a loan fund, or help you get access to grants, help you get access and information to city-wide programs. The HPD had a program called Storeworks, where store owners would be able to buy a building, put your store in it, have some revenue-producing apartments on top, but it's a very kind of specific program that has a lot of safety nets for you to help you kind of move along. So there's a wealth of resources, and community development corporations are a wonderful place to get the information that you need.
Let me take one.
I'd just like to say HCCI does have a small business loan fund where we loan up to $25,000 for small businesses. and our funding is really to provide those businesses with capital improvements to stores where they're renting or for other physical costs. We do not loan for working capital.